Hey guys, it's Jay from the Big Buck Registry Deer Hunting Podcast. And usually we talk deer hunting on this show, as you guys know, but I thought I'd bring in a special guest, Fred Bird from the National Wild Turkey Federation. And Fred is their regional director, and they have a couple of big events coming up. And as you might know, we talked to Carter Heath, who is the director of one of your programs that you have going on.
He's our president of our local chapter out of Concord, New Hampshire, and just recently Carter was voted in by the board to be the state chapter president of New Hampshire.
Oh, no kidding.
That's right.
Oh, that's pretty big. So you've got what is it called? The Capital
Region Strutters. That's one of our local
Right.
chapters here in New Hampshire, yeah.
So a couple of big events coming up, and Fred, tell me about the two events that are coming up real soon, one of which is Carter is involved in.
That's right. Their event is on the 29th of April, so it's going to be a busy day. That's our youth season, so a lot of them guys are going to get out in the morning with kids, myself included, for a hunt, break, go have the event at 3 o'clock at Bass Pro and Hooksett. Have a good time there, celebrate all the good work they've done over the last year, conservation. I mean,
Right.
we were celebrating that morning, we're going to celebrate that night, and probably go out next morning and do it again on Sunday.
That's youth weekend, isn't it? That's
So,
awesome. Very cool.
Very, very apropos to have a culmination, a big event at Bass Pro of all places, and
Right.
they celebrate the whole thing
Right.
in one weekend.
Right.
The weekend before, April 22nd, one of our newest chapters in Southern Maine, the Southern Maine Strutters, they're going to be having one of their events at the Regatta in Elliott, so
Okay.
right there by KTP,
Okay.
Terry Trading Post for the non-locals.
Gotcha.
Um,
Are you emceeing?
Yeah, that's kind of my function when I go to these events, so I kind of talk ad nauseum.
Last year I went to your event and you were emceeing and you did a great job.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're a good speaker and you kept everything moving forward.
Yeah, it's I tell people it's not church. We're there to have a party and celebrate and have a good time. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
Well, cool, man. Well, if I have this conflict. I think I don't know if I'll be able to get there. Baseball season's coming up,
Yeah.
so I'm going to try to get out youth morning, right, with my 9-year-old boy, and then we have to go play baseball in Massachusetts if the weather allows. And I don't know if we're going to make it back in time for the event, but I'm certainly going to try to be there. But if I can't get there, I certainly wish you guys the best.
I would appreciate
for
it.
that. Now, tell me a little bit about the bigger focus of the NWTF and how much it not only does for turkeys, but it does for habitat in general.
It's a great question. And so, in the early 2000s, 90s, and 80s, we had our trap and transfer days. It's a very exciting time for turkey guys, for NWTF, all turkey nuts kind of thing. And you get to see the guys catching the turkeys with the rocket nets, put them in boxes, bring them to different states, different parts of the country. Now where we've maintained those populations, some have peaked and kind of gone down, and our biologists are watching that to see if they're just kind of at a good carrying capacity where they're at. So where we're at now is just maintaining those populations, but also putting the money that we're raising through our banquet system, through off banquets, back into the resource, right? So all our upland game habitat management, apple tree releases, going like New Hampshire is a good example where you have a lot of old farms that are overgrown that may belong to fishing game. They're public lands, but they've just not been maintained. So we can go in with the revenue that we generate and put boots on the ground, as it were, and start to maintain these places and make them habitable for wildlife, and start bringing that new generation kind of forest growing back up. So not just we're planting our stake in the ground saying Turkey Federation was here, this is just for the turkeys. It directly affects all your upland game species. So small game, your upland game birds like grouse and woodcock, white-tailed deer, bear, everyone's really enjoying the fruits of what we're doing. And we want people to know that. So you may not just be a turkey hunter, you may be a whitetail guy, right? But the work that we're doing is going right into that resource as well. So you can have a direct hand in participating in that, even though you're not a turkey guy.
Right. And I get out and turkey hunt as much as I deer hunt, probably more actually.
Yeah.
It's just for some reason that that season kicks in and 3 o'clock comes real easy, and it's just I pretty much hunt every day during turkey season. I'll let birds pass just so I can go out and do it the next day, just because it's that much fun. But watching the birds and getting out in the habitat and knowing that the reason that there are a lot of birds in New Hampshire is because of efforts like the NWTF, and they're we had to replant 12 of them back in the 70s,
Yeah.
just to restart the population here.
That's right.
And now they're everywhere. And now we've got guys coming in from Ohio to hunt turkeys in New Hampshire. And that, to me, that's probably one of the first times that you can say, hey, I've got people coming in from out of state to come hunt
That's right.
turkeys, other than moose. Moose has always been a thing, but even though they're on the decline right now. But having people come in out of state to hunt with our land use laws in New Hampshire, and because there's so many birds around, and you're going to get a shot, most likely.
New England, specifically New Hampshire and Maine, have become a turkey destination. You know, I think gone are the days of the Grand Slam. I mean, they're still
Right.
there.
Right.
People still want to get every subspecies and their Royal Slam as well. But now everyone is. I don't know if Facebook and social media and internet has made our world so much smaller that through networking and our awesome volunteer network that we have,
Yeah.
guys can reach out from New Hampshire and talk to guys in Montana,
Right.
talk to guys in southern Arizona, and hey, let's hook up, let's trade hunts. And now everyone's traveling across the country, and now the quest for 49 is on.
Right.
You know, you had a few guys that did it and worked their tails off for a year, but now it's becoming more of a, that's the thing to do. So when guys come up here from Ohio and come to New Hampshire, well, you could hit New Hampshire, Mass, and Maine in one day, or New Hampshire, Vermont, Mass. I mean,
Right.
however you plan your week out, however much time, and you know, once they're up here, they really want to try to knock out as many of these smaller states as they can. So, yeah, it's really quite the place to be, and the opportunity, like you said, it's fantastic. And for me, it's very foreign. We have this great colonial tradition of land use, going
Exactly.
back to
It's a colonial tradition.
yeah, going back to
Much
our
different.
founding.
Right.
And then you go south of that Mason-Dixon line and then west of the Mississippi, and you got to start writing a check to hunt. So, and even for them, it's different. They're like, well, I can just go hunt anywhere.
Right.
Well, within reason, but yeah, you can, and that's pretty cool about the Northeast and New England.
It really is. So, and you mentioned that you can just call a buddy, and you guys know better than anybody. You know, you're on social media, you're following us on social media, and the people that I've met through social media, not only to be guests on the Big Buck Registry podcast, but to people that I've met. I can travel pretty much anywhere, and as you can, if you just become friends with somebody else in the world. And there's definitely a deep-rooted connection between hunters, and I really do believe that because of social media, the world has gotten a little bit smaller as far as trying to coordinate a hunt outside of your own state. That's the reasons that my friends from Ohio came up, are because we met on social media years ago, you know, and years ago, in terms of years ago, in as far as the light years are concerned, regarding social media, it was just a few years ago.
That's right.
But that's made our world much smaller. So, speaking of social media, if we want more information about your two events that are coming up in New Hampshire and Maine, and we want more information in general on how to join the NWTF, or just general information about habitat or whatever, where would we go to find more information?
Immediately, you can go to www.nwtf.org if you want to find an event, that /events, and then that'll bring you to a page where you can do a state selector, find your state, so New Hampshire and Maine, scroll down and find the event. Each of our states in the country have their own NWTF Facebook page, so NWTF New Hampshire, NWTF Maine,
Okay.
Mass, so on. And then the local chapters, a lot of them have their own Facebook pages there as well.
Very good, man. Thank you, Fred.
We appreciate it. Thank you
Coming
so
on and
much.
talking
Absolutely.
turkey hunting on a deer hunting site.
You bet. We appreciate it.
All right.